Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best new weapons included in the Borderlands 4's new DLC, the Bounty Pack 2, which introduces 3 new Pearlescents, 14 legendaries, including fan favorites like the Laser Discer, although in a much different form than we had it in the pre-sequel. There's also weapons here which will be very interesting on Cash whenever he releases next month, and I'll be going over all the best synergies, strategies, and ways to utilize some of these very powerful weapons. We even got a grenade, which is actually pretty fun to use, so I'll be going over all that in this video. I also will have a video linked in the comments where I go over all the locations and where to get all these weapons, and I break down all of them in this video. But this video will be focused on the weapons that are the best here, with starting off the Doeshot. This one's really interesting because you can get a dataless multi-loader, which actually changed the property of this weapon quite a bit. It shoots in a 5-round burst, and it does a good amount of damage, and it can also, it's Jacobs. But it come with a variety of different rolls here, so you can get ones that have the Ripper parts on it, spread launchers, and much more. Now here's the one with the Ripper parts on it, which makes it actually pretty crazy. It's normally a 5-round burst, but if you use that as 20 rounds. So on a character like Rafa, they can actually do some pretty crazy stuff with this. This is an Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 going against the Driller Hole boss. Now, we can do some crazier stuff with other weapons, obviously like the bod and stuff. This becomes a little bit of visual clutter here because, yeah, this thing shoots out a lot of bullets, but you can see there a full round using the Bullet Buddy Deluxe. It's not an insane amount of damage, but it's comparable to some of the other shotguns in this game. So while not being the most powerful weapon in the game, it's still pretty fun. What's interesting too is you can get some different rolls like the pistol ammo one here, which will make it a lot more accurate. So when you switch it over to the pistol mode, you can see there the bullets are condensed in a single area. This one is a 5-round burst weapon. This one is also the one that doesn't have the Ripper parts here. This makes it a little bit easier to aim for the head because, again, it has that extremely small area of aiming whenever it's using the pistol ammunition, but this isn't that overly powerfully strong, and things like the bod will be a lot better than this, and even the Mantra, which is my new favorite weapon in the game. But yeah, you can see they're decent. Now, the other shotguns that we got with the hair trigger and the Arc-Tan are really hard to use. The Arc-Tan is from the vault cards. This one shoots these grenades here. They're slow, they bounce around. They do a decent bit of damage, but they're going to be harder to hit if you're going against just normal mobbing. They're great against bosses though because they have a huge explosion, but you see the damage from these is nothing super fantastic. So this weapon is a cool new one, not super powerful. And the hair trigger is just annoying to use. So basically with the hair trigger, you're gonna hold down the button, and when you let go of it, you see that we create a big ball of fire. So if you're just used to spamming it, you're gonna explode this in your face, which could be very concerning and take you down really easily. So this is something to keep in mind. It's like a very difficult to use weapon. So honestly, if you're itching for a new weapon, shotgun, I just use the Doeshot. But next we got, this is actually my favorite, the Bubbles weapon. So this can come with some different elements. It also comes with Jacobs license accessories on it, but what I like most about this, since the weapon I started off the video with, is the bubbles. It shoots out these projectiles here. They will chain around to other targets, so that is one nice thing about it. And with the Maliwan switcher, this gives you a few different elemental damage types. I mostly just like this. Having cryo weapons that can spread around to multiple targets is always nice. We had one of those in the previous bounty pack. This one is a little bit difficult to shoot with. As you can see, the bubbles don't always make their way over to the targets here, but the damage from this is all right. Nothing like game-breakingly powerful, but it's good against general mobbing. I'm, again, doing this Ultimate Vault Hunter 6, so it's not going to be, like, obviously the most powerful weapon in the game, but if you're looking for something new, this can be a really fun weapon. I think of it somewhat like if you're using the Wombo combo, although obviously that weapon is a much more powerful weapon. This, having the Jacobs license accessory, can be really fun for mobbing, and in general, the large pellets are great for getting headshots. You can see that we're getting a lot of crits off with this one, but yeah, while this weapon is fun and good to use, it's not going to be, like, anything game-breaking. But I next want to mention the Laser Discer assault rifle. So we got actually some really nice assault rifles here, but this one is kind of sad because the original Laser Discer would shoot real discs. This is from the Claptastic Voyage if you played the pre-sequel. This version is just kind of a shell of its former self. It's a TDR weapon, so it can replicate itself, which is nice, giving us a short reload. It can come with a support drone, which is really nice. It enables some crazy Rafa builds, and it can also come with the Jacobs license accessory. You can get a bunch of different ones, though. You can get the combo orb that can deal damage to nearby enemies. You can get Ripper parts on it. You can get the Maliwan switcher, which would be my preferred role, but I really like the Jacobs license. If you get Jacobs and the Maliwan, that'd be probably the best version of this. It's an elemental weapon, which is nice, but basically what it does is it doesn't shoot discs anymore. It shoots these pellets here. It does 200% extra damage to targets that are in the air, so it completely changed how this weapon works. It's nothing like the original one. I like the original one. It was one of the few weapons that was like explosive and did like a ton of damage. But you can see here, this is nothing to, you know, write home about. It's an okay weapon. It's TDR though, so it has that like really short reload time, which is nice, but yeah, you can see there, even with hitting crits, we're not doing like any crazy amounts of damage compared to some of the other assault rifles that we have in this game. So yeah, this one, it's just a shell of its former self, I find. That was pretty cool. I guess I should also talk about the Eigenburst shotgun just quickly here. This one also, like the pearlescent weapons as a whole are not amazing. I like the way this one looks. It's got these cool beams that you can shoot at targets. It also, you throw the gun, it flies towards them. The damage from this one also is nothing to write home about. So while it's a cool looking weapon and I like the effects, it's just nothing too amazing for pearlescents. And I'll cover one more that's somewhat weak until we get into some of the more better weapons with the Tankbuster. This one, I think, or Tankbuster, I think this one's cool. It has the potential being good against future bosses, but you need a lot of enemies nearby for this to really shine because it's going to heal nearby enemies and damage the boss for the amount that it healed the other enemies or whoever you're really aiming it at. So it can be cool because you're taking basically the damage that you're dealing from others, and yeah, it's kind of a funky one. If we're going against a boss, like the new boss comes with a bunch of summons, but I don't think it's even like worth it. It'd be something like some of the previous raid bosses that we got in like Borderlands 2, that'd be much more impactful. But yeah, the damage you can see is nothing super crazy unless there's a bunch of enemies nearby and then they're just getting healed. So you can see the range is actually kind of, it's not able to hit this target here, but when they're a little bit closer, you can see that target to the right is getting healed from that, and it's dealing a bit more damage to the boss. So this could be good on like a Bloodshot Vex with her sniper rifle damage going through the roof. But for right now, I don't see this being anything too insane, but it's a fun one. Potentially future bosses could be good for using this weapon and getting the most out of it, but at the current moment, it's just an all right weapon. The next is an interesting one. This is actually a sticky-based weapon. It can also come with the Jacob's Laces accessory, the Fleabag assault rifle. What's cool about it is basically it's stickies, so we're going to shoot those stickies onto the enemy, but if we shoot another target, it removes all the stickies from that target and puts them onto the different target there. So this is an interesting one. While it's not like the most overpowered one, if you take out an enemy, you can then shoot and then, you know, get those stickies back onto the other enemy. So when you reload, it's going to do that explosion there. It's nothing like crazy damaging, but I think it's an interesting concept there. Great if you're mobbing around, so you can then get all those onto a target and then have that explode like that. The Jacob's roll is really nice because it's going to ricochet those projectiles around, but you can also get this one with Ripper parts, which makes a full auto, which is really nice, and it can even come with a Maliwan switcher. So Ripper parts obviously being the ideal roll because it's a single auto weapon, and then it becomes a lot faster if you have this on. So yeah, using the Bullet Buddy Deluxe here, we can then get our infinite ammo off of this here. It's, again, not going to be as crazy as the Bod shotgun, not a lot of weapons are, but it can be a fun one, especially if you just want to be able to use like an assault rifle that's focused on doing stuff like the stickies here. But yeah, nothing insane in terms of the damage. You can see the boss's health bar moving, but we can clear this boss in like seconds with other weapons. So yeah, it's an interesting choice. I just think it's cool that it's going to pull all the stickies around from enemy to enemy. But yeah, the damage from this is nothing too crazy. It does get a little bit better if you're using an enhancement that's going to increase, take half the damage from the explosion and do it whenever you hit them with the stickies. But even then, it's just an okay weapon compared to other Torque stickies, I should clarify. Now this next weapon I think is really fun, the Mercurious. This is an SMG with a ton of rolls on it. It can come with Jacobs, it can come with Flamethrower, it can come with the Torgue Lacened Impact, you can come with the Atlas Underbarrel. This is my favorite because it's going to tag enemies and make it home in on them. You can also get stickies on it. It really comes with a variety of different rolls. Alt-fire tasers, it's got the Maliwan switcher, an impact magazine, and energy discharge, energy blast, and another Maliwan switcher. And here's the Torque stickies. I'm using the, I'm in my overdrive here from Rafa. It's cool because it's going to have white stickies there, and the damage from them you can see is pretty nuts. So that burst was actually pretty good. So if you're using some character that's got infinite ammo, Harlow and Rafa are going to be easiest. You can also do this with Vex as well. What shines is using the infinite ammo from like Bullet Buddy Deluxe, for example here, blasting away with it, and then getting as many stickies as possible. If I had like the Jacobs, it would be a little bit better, but you're going to see here, once I actually end up reloading, we're going to get a good chunk of his health bar getting deleted there. So that's really where this weapon shines. Again, Ultimate Vault under 6, the damage is not as good as a lot of the other weapons that have already been in the game, but there's a lot of really broken weapons. So yeah, we can maybe see some buffs and nerfs to some of them in the future, and maybe this will be a little bit better. But there's also the Torgue Impact version here, which just gives you the damage up front. This is going to be, for the most part, a better version for mobbing, whereas stickies are better for bossing. But honestly, the bod is just the best if you want to do stickies, the ceramic bod. So yeah, it's just another option out there, kind of like Chaosin. My apologies, looking at the broken wings, they look very similar, but this is our next weapon, the broken wing. So this one comes with a lot of the Torque stickies and things like that as well. But what I like most about this, it reminds me of some of the weapons from if you played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Some of the SMGs would shoot out just like this. It's kind of like also TK's Wave, but if you can get an underbarrel that makes all the bullets home in on the enemy, that is the ideal role for this, because you see there it shoots in a very wide line. My personal favorite is getting the Torg Impact magazine here, and also having multiple different elements makes it actually pretty powerful. So this is what it looks like. I think that just firing it looks good. It's kind of like the plasma coil. I just really enjoy the firing effects of that. And yeah, if you get the quick ammunition going, it can be pretty devastating in the close range there, but it's also decent if you're able to get the one that lets it home in on targets, like the Order magazine there. So yeah, I like this, and I think it looks really cool as well. Now, funny enough, the best weapons in the DLC are pistols, and unfortunately not the pistol you get from purchasing the DLC, the Pearlescent one with the hand cannon here. I'm still going to talk about it and showcase it a little bit. It can come with sticky projectiles, Jacob's Laser accessories, and Ripper parts. That'd be my favorite rolls on this. Now, the Pearlescents come with an override, which will change depending on the enemy's health bar, and I think that makes them pretty useful, but you're going to see here, Ripper parts, Jacobs, it's not really doing a whole lot, and this is one with stickies there. It can be okay, but again, we just have so many really good ones out there. This one just felt a little bit lackluster in terms of effects. You can see there the full burst of bullets on there with our slow firing, even with crits, we're literally doing like no damage to the boss. It is actually kind of doing a little bit there, but yeah, this takes a lot longer than many other weapons would actually get the same effects from it, so yeah. That is also the like god roll of it. So yeah, what's cool about this is it will deal damage when attached to targets. So the sticky projectiles can be pretty effective, but the damage from it is just not as good as some of the other ones out there. I'm just gonna go over some of the different rolls that you can get for this. And this one is only farmable in the new DLC itself. But yeah, I don't know, maybe they'll buff these in the future because it just felt a bit lackluster. Now we're getting into our top two weapons, which funny enough are both pistols. The Shalashaska here has the awful lot ability. This is a reference to Ocelot, Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid. This is going to have a lot of different roles on it. I think it's actually kind of interesting in this effect because we have ones here with Torg licensed sticky magazines. Lots of those in the DLC. Nothing that can rival the bod though. This also comes with the Jacobs parts, and the special ability here on auto reload grants a stack of exhilaration. Each stack of exhilaration increases the number of possible ricochets by 1, and this resets on a manual reload. So if you just continue firing away, you're going to get some pretty crazy damage out of this. So you can see this little thing beside my health bar there. For every single time that we shoot and not reload, we're getting another stack, which is going to increase the ricochets. This can get pretty crazy if you're doing like some mobbing and bossing here, because yeah, you're going to be getting some pretty wild ricochets off of mobbing. Just hold down the trigger. It does have a max of 5 stacks there, as you can see. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Just hold down the trigger, and then once you get those 5 stacks, go into your infinite ammo from someone like Rafa here, and you can just blast away, getting massive amounts of ricochets. Again, this is going to be a weapon that is fantastic for mobbing. You can get, again, a variety of different rolls on it, but this is such a cool one. I love the different ricochet effects in this game. And another thing about ricochets is if you get the high caliber piercing, you can have these bullets pierce through enemies and also ricochet through enemies. So that is from using the high caliber firmware, so you can have them pierce and ricochet around. This weapon is insane. It also has some of the coolest looking appearances. And another thing, it actually has a pretty solid crit damage. With this one giving 134% and a splash radius, yeah, this weapon can be pretty absurd. And finally, our best weapon, I believe, I'm going to do a future video where I break down what I think to be like the top 10, but the roulette. This is crazy because whenever you do a reload, you're going to get a random buff. So we can continue firing, and the buffs are interesting. It's going to give you gun damage, going to give you increased fire rate, it's going to make you shoot multiple times in a row. So basically what you're going to want to do is just fire this off, get it to reload. You're going to notice as you continue to shoot, it does get faster and faster. So you can see the number down at the bottom there, it's a 3. This is going to change on reload here, so it will stack up and it'll give you increased fire rate. It gives you more bullets in the magazine here, so this can get pretty silly, especially as you get it higher and higher up in the bullets. It also has a really fast reload here, but what's cool about this is the fire rate that you can get going on this thing. And also if you then pop like something like the Bullet Buddy Deluxe here, whenever you're going insane on this is number 5, it can do some insane amounts of damage, especially if you got like the Watch for Dinner on. So yeah, without a doubt, this is our new best weapon, and I'm curious to see how it affects cash whenever he releases next month. The roulette is just absurdly powerful. Again, getting different buffs as you reload. It can shoot double shots. It can increase your fire rate to an absurd amount, doubles the ammunition. The damage output from this thing is just absurd, and I'm curious to see how this is going to play out in the future. But those are the best weapons in the new DLC. I didn't include something like the Mercury because this is absolute dog shit. So if there's something that wasn't included, it's probably because it wasn't that good. Just like the Conflux Sniper, not super amazing, very low damage, dealing increased damage per status effect, so it could be interesting on Vex, but I just, from my testing, nothing super impactful. Honestly, the Pearlescent weapons are not really that amazing so far. Maybe they'll get buffed because there are a lot of weapons that got buffs here that ended up being really nice. So let me know which of these weapons is your favorite. I'll be doing a future top 5 or top 10 of this DLC, probably top 5. So some weapons here that are kind of stinkers, but let me know your favorite in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.